Welcome back. It's time for the interview segment, and as you know, today is Monday where we get to discuss, everything around politics. But now we'll be having a twist to it, and we'll be talking about youth restiveness in the midst of diversity. And this basically cuts across all spheres of diversity, and we have someone here who would justice to the topic. We have here with us Mrs. Ajao Ibiyemi Aramide. She's the Director of Community Development in Lagos State. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us.
You're welcome.
Morning,
good morning.
Thank you for joining us, ma'am.
Thank you.
So we're talking about diversity.
Yes, youth
restiveness amidst diversity. Could you please give us an insight to diversity first? Because naturally we understand that diversity could be maybe from the line of politics, or maybe religion, or gender equality, or diversity is diverse. So could you please point out?
Diversity on elements term is what makes us as human beings. That is the home, the area, the community we come out for, what has made us as human beings generally, and they are very diverse. We have politics, we have the family background, we have the peer group, and many others. We have a lot that has made youth to be diverse.
Okay, man. So when we talk about restiveness, I'm sure it's restiveness means the act of or the willingness not to be uneasy, or not to receive instructions, or not willing to be controlled or managed. Now, so why do you think that youths presently are not willing to be managed or controlled or told what to do in our present time? Yeah, the reason, personally to me, and I feel is a generality of things too. I feel the restiveness of youth starts from the home. This youth we are talking about were once kids, children, and in school, then to the university and to the world. So if we didn't have proper foundation, you would never have anything good about them. If you really have trained a child the way it should grow, they will surely come out good. And politically, among their peer group in the community, you see them good. We have them. We have them becoming governors, PAMSECs, and all sorts in Nigeria. So at the same time, we have the other side, because there are always two sides to a coin.
All right. From my observation, let me start from my own perspective. As old as I am, I've been able to observe the way youths respond to things, and I'm sure that you've seen your own side of it too, and you've seen more than I have. Now, would you say there's been a shift or perhaps a change in the way youth react to things? Youth in the generation, the Gen Z, we have the Gen Z, we have the millennials. The Gen Z have created a spectrum of their home, the way they react to probably politics, the way they react to economic situations, or maybe family matters. Now, from your observation, has there been a shift from how youth of then, the youth of your era, how they react to situations, and comparing it to what we have now?
Yeah, there's a shift, a great shift. In those days, the children, the youths of those days, they are homely. They put things in consideration. I would say they are even fearful of their parents, their environment. What will people say? Let me consider my grandma. I don't want to put her name to the mud. My grandpa, my dad. But children of these days, they don't care. All they want is themselves. I will see them as selfish youths. They are not really selfish. It's the evolution that has made them what they are. You understand? In those days, I'm very sorry to digress. Those rats we see in the house are tiny, but the ones we see right now are big ones, and there is nothing big in the house that they are eating. So also human beings, we are evoluting. So they have evolved all through the years. Even this curriculum in schools now were different from those ones we learned. The people teaching them also, what you don't have, you don't give. It's what those teachers or lecturers have, they give them. You see youth calling their lecturers pardon me. In those days, you see your lecturer, you pull your ears, you dare not. So that's just
So would you generally describe it as being a negative shift or positive shift? Because we are going to balance it out. If you look at maybe technology, from the aspect of technology, the youth are more prominent when it comes to technology. There's been a very great improvement. And if you look at perhaps the economic side too, there's been an increase in knowledge, there's been an increase in skill. I think one place where we're still lacking when it comes to youth discussion in Nigeria is the politics. There's still this political apathy among the youth. But then some would blame it on the older generation not allowing the youth to step up. However, would you say it's a positive shift or a negative shift, or is it balanced?
It's not really balanced, because it's positive in some areas and negative in some areas. This youth you are talking about, they are individuals. It's not just a person. To some group, it's positive. To some, this set of group, I'll categorize them as baked, partially baked and unbaked. We have them in the society. The baked one, they are refined, everything, they go into technology, they use the internet as a good measure to be what they want to be in life. And we have some of them that they are together in that group, they are not ready. All they want is those people over there, those politicians up there, they are great, I want to be great, I want to be there. They don't want to pass through the hurdles. So, but as a whole, their activity, their proactiveness, the technology knowledge they have is really bringing us forward.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma. So moving away from the the proactive youth, and now to in your words, the unbaked or maybe the semi-baked. Now we see that we have them so much in the society, and then we see many people, even people in the older generation, use them as tools to cause probably nuisance to the society. And also at this point, how do we manage this set of people? How do we control them? Or maybe control is not the right word, but then how do we manage them? Because we see that even when we look at the statistics, you realize that this set of youth are more, using Lagos as an example, as a case study, they're actually more in Lagos than than the ones who are really ready to move the state forward and make it a better place. So how do we really manage this set of people?
We really need to be very proactive in handling the issue of youth. I believe our government in Nigeria, most especially Lagos State, I'm a Lagosian, I work here, I grew up here. Presently, I'm still there. We've really tried in the issue of children and women, but I feel the government as a whole, they are negligent in the issue of youth. Although Lagos State is trying, they have seminars for them, employ most of them. Majority of the workers in Lagos State were the youth of those days. We call them millennial staff. Majority of them are now in level 15, 16, and they are really doing fine. So we have to be more proactive, either baked, unbaked, baked. We need to, bring out, let's sit down on a round table, bring them. They need inclusion in governance. They should be included in governance. Even as a community officer, I'm a community officer, we should bring them. Where we're having this mommy and daddy in community CDAs, they should bring them they should have their own wings. When you are making decisions of the community, bring them, let them have their own say. So when we want to move the community or the society forward, their say too, will be a part of it. And at the end of the day, when we are making the way forward, they too will not say we are sidelined.
Okay, Ma, speaking on that, you say making them have a say in maybe decision making process or no. We realize that I've witnessed different situations where you try to go to a community and you go there and the youth are like no, you can't come into this community, whatever you are bringing, and they're not interested in that. The fact that this is going to help them in the long run, they do not care. There was a story where a community, maybe a medical association, went to that community to just give free eye care to the old ones and even the younger ones who have eye problems, and they didn't allow them to stay because they said, you have to pay some money. Everything about them is the money. So how do we maybe eradicate this? Because we see many of them, many people, many NGOs try to go into communities, but they are pushed back. because youth are like, don't come here, we don't want you here if you're not bringing a certain amount of money. And then some NGOs won't definitely drop some money because they're like, we are coming to help you, we are not supposed to give you any money. So this set of people, how do we now maybe take them out of this community so that everything can become, or the communities in general can become a better place? This is the core of the discussion, because we want to manage them, but then what measures can we put in place to manage this?
This is where the community development comes in. In every society, we have a community. So these people, most especially the ones you said, I categorize them as the unbaked at all. They are not trained. They don't even go to school. They are in my community. Whenever you see these service providers station bringing in the oil to service they say, you see all these youths coming out. You will not see a reasonable youth among them. Probably some of them are those artisans. Just they are bringing the oil. They call themselves, okay, you will not enter unless you pay us. So it happens. Even NGOs, when they come, say no, we must pay. Even when you want to make road, government, they will say that caterpillar will not enter our community. But this is where the community leaders comes in, and parents. They don't just drop from heaven. They are not ghosts. Yes. They come, they stay in a place, maybe a landlord or a guardian, parents. No, they should not pull their hairs. So in so doing, this thing is an holistic thing to make our youth be what we want. It's an holistic thing. We don't give everything alone to the government, to the community leaders, or to the parents alone. We must come together. Like me, sometimes ago, beside my house, they call me there's this particular boy that doesn't go to school. So this boy, I report him to the mommy. This boy is not going. He will even go to school in the morning. When the mommy had gone to the market, he will bring his group into their one-room apartment, and they will be. It pains me to. I know what it takes for you to have a child, and this boy is around 16, 17. What will become of him later? So I do. When I peep from my window, say, "You only come to your Jew," and at the end of the day, today, this boy says, "Mommy, surely you pay." My mommy, is your head not correct? The mommy too will say, is your father said that, it has gotten to that. That is unbaked. And when this boy mingles with those ones that are baked, you don't really have a clear cut. Like what happened in Lagos 2021, the NSAS. It's not the reasonable guys. We know the importance of our heritage. We can't just say heritage that has taken long time to build. We want to break it one day. It is those boys, those youths that has nothing to lose, that hijack the whole thing from them. And I pray the government will look more into them through the effort of the community leaders.
Now, your community development person. Now, in an International Journal of Education and Human Development 2020, it was noted that the denial of youth to have access to qualitative education in Nigeria, because of the exorbitant cost of acquiring education, which led them to be disoriented and readily available for antisocial actions such as restiveness, of which no meaningful development can occur in the midst of this crisis and unrest. Now, your community development person, what can the community do to this situation, the situation of qualitative education? Now, you just noted that, okay, you have one boy in your community that doesn't want to, acquire the basic education, and you're always being a watchdog for that kind of person. Now, what more can the community do apart from that? Is there maybe a financial aid the community can give, or maybe a social event, maybe what's it called? Vocational training or sort of. What can the community do in such situations?
Well, in this situation, we need the equal highs, because at times some of them are eating, you don't know. And not, let me tell you, we just have to be factual about this. Not all children can go through education. You can go to primary, secondary, but to institutions, to tertiary institutions, not all of them, because of financial constraints of the parents. But they can learn trades. They can learn trades that makes them, independent. So all this should be, should be highlighted in the community. This boy is not going to school again. Meet the community leaders. One thing is community leaders are, eroding in their importance now. The majority of them is all myself and my family alone. Even when incentives enter community, it is only their family members. They don't even know government is doing. When government gives them something, they don't allow the old people in the community to know. How will they know? Even if there is an employment for some youth or whatever, or training, they only give the people around them. They don't give those boys, those others that really needed the thing. So all this we need eagle eyes to fish out those ones, and make them they go into trades, and not only graduates, those that pass through 4 corners of the classroom that are successful. We have those who doesn't go, but they are okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Okay, so I want to ask, in just recently concluded elections, we see that there were some polling units that had, a case of violence and all, and then we saw where ballot boxes were starched, were scattered and all, and obviously people who committed this crime were not old people. They were young people, they were youth, and we know that they wouldn't just go there on their own, volition, on their own thought. They must have been saying that, okay, you go there, go and do this and all of that. I will probably pay you this amount of money. I will give you this amount of money. Now we see that, we're saying that we need the community leaders, we need people who have access to the good things of life to help this the youth or people who are not very much
empowered.
Yes, empowered. Thank you very much. Empowered. Now, is this still possible? Because the people who are supposed to help are the same people who are empowering people to commit offenses and violence and crimes. I'm still trying to understand how possible it is. I know you are a community development officer. You've been in this field for years and you know how it is. So maybe you can explain to me and then to our viewers how it really works. Because if the people who are supposed to empower them, to become a better person, are still the ones giving them the power to cause violence, to cause, to go and commit crime. So how would that work? How will it balance out? Yeah.
Personally, to me, I feel in this our nation, Nigeria, we need to reorientate ourselves politically. When we are people in the grassroots, truly they are the people in the government that some bad elements in the government, not all of them, that we give them, go and do this, go and do that. Definitely whoever has sent them, I've only told them we want to win. Everybody wants to win. The modalities, let's have the way we want to do. But the only one the money given unto you, to spread, you only want to give it to the bad boys, to destroy the whole thing and have the win come to your side. So we should have a new orientation. In fact, the last election taught a lot of people. Even carrying the box now is not even the best. So we should, reorientate ourselves politically. Politicians should know, winning an election is not a do or die affair. The first election that brought in the president, we saw how it happened, and we saw what happened in Lagos State. I saw my Governor Sanwo-Olu, how he went even to churches, to clubhouse, to mobilize, to beg, to do all sorts. That's the way politicians should be. So, during that election, I saw in a clip in my phone when there was an election and people in I don't know the area, but in the west, in the west. So these people, they were standing on the street. Please vote for my party. Vote. You see, they are calm, and nobody is doing anything to fight anybody. They are not doing anything. But in our own area, it is that time, Mr. ABC had offended me the last time. It is this time we need to finish him. It is this time we need to show him we are greater than him. No, we can't make it so. What if their children are there? They will not allow them to be that. It's because their children are not there. So in the community, we should we should have credible community leaders. And we parents should not leave everything to this community leader. Everybody is a community leader. Once you live in a community, you're a member of that community, you should be able to push the community forward and to make it come to a larger society. So don't leave everything to some part of people. So I will advise that the way we raise our political agenda, we should have a change of orientation. It cannot move us forward.
Thank you very much, ma'am. From your point, I was able to point out that okay, you've given us some remedy solutions from the community side, from the family, and from intending office holders. Now, what do you think the incumbent political the incumbent give me the word, the incumbent officers, you know, what do you think you can do? Maybe the incumbent governor or the incumbent president, maybe the federal government in general, or the state government in general, what do you think they can do to remedy this situation?
When I was given this topic, I sat saying, what will I say when this issue of a political aspect of youth restiveness? What I feel is we should look in depth into the issue of youth. We always say youth are the future of tomorrow. They are the future of tomorrow. But if you don't sit down, it got to a stage women were really marginalized, and we see the federal government is having a Ministry of Women Affairs, Ministry of and Children and youth. Let's face them. They are the inevitable of our tomorrow. If we really need them, if you really want to move forward in this country, Tinubu is getting old. Everybody is getting old. These people are the people that will be in your shoes. I'm very sorry to digress. During the campaign of Sanwo-Olu, I saw the HOS of this state. He's a very young man. And the one he was talking, telling people to vote. I said, this boy, this guy, is really having the political in-depth concerning this nation. So he's building himself. So we should try to build them, to build those youths. We shouldn't leave them alone. We can form I really know we have a ministry for them already. All states have ministry for them, but I don't think the ministries are functioning. And one other thing is whatever we do budget for them in every parastatals, in ministries, local government. But is this fund really going down to them? If it really goes down to them, even they know that it will not come at once. They know when this one goes today, the one for next month, other month will come to me. We can't get it at once, but they will know it's gradual. Let them make us. We should let them know that we are doing something. Let's be open. Let's be open, and that's why I said they should be included into governance. They should be included, giving the good ones giving appointments. So from the good ones, they are the ones that will go to their societies, to their community, to their church. The government is really trying. They did this. It hasn't got to you, but very soon it will get to you. Before you know it, they will all, even the bad ones, they will not have effect again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I wish we can go on and on in this discussion, but our time is fast spent, and really say thank you for coming and thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us. So we'll go on a short break. I'll be right back to continue with Daybreak Africa. Do stay with us.